how I can turn this into this. So I'm just going to do a really quick tutorial on how I fill in the background to make it look seamless, okay? So I do all the general editing, you know, cropping and lightening and reducing highlights in Lightroom, and then I move it over to Photoshop. So we're going to do that, move it into Photoshop. Okay, we're going to make a new layer. Okay, use the quick selection tool. I have the most recent version because I have this subscription, and I get every time there's a new version, it just upgrades for me. I can just download it. But if you don't have it and you have an older version, you may have to manually do this. But if you have the newest version, you could just go select subject. It's very nice. I love that. And then select and mask. Invert it so it's selecting the dog. Okay, now you may want to take a lot more time than I'm doing and go real slow with a really small brush around the dog. It's just refining the edge, getting back all those little hairs, little flyaways. Make sure it's just selecting just the dog. Take your time doing this. Don't rush through it like I'm doing. Okay. Okay, then you want to go through and you want to kind of, you know, get any little spots that it missed. This one's very similar to the background, so it didn't select it very well. Get any little spots inside. Okay, that looks pretty good. I would definitely take more time for the client, but we're going to just do it quickly here. Okay, so we want to remove the clamp. We don't want the clamp in there. Okay, now it's very simple. Filter, blur, make sure you are on the background. Make sure you have the background selected. See how the background has marching ants around it? Because if you have the dog selected, it'll look like that. Okay, so you want to make sure you invert it. Select invert. Go filter, blur, average. Very, very simple. Okay, now you can see I didn't get the tail very good here. Okay, but so now we're going to put a mask on it. I generally do this at the eraser at about 60 to 65%. I should say 62 is fine. Make the brush larger. And I just erase the entire floor. I know you're probably thinking, what the heck? We don't want those ugly clamps in the picture. Yes, we don't. Okay, so then we want to just put it back up to 100%. I find this easier than trying to just get around the dog's feet and not do that. Now you want to change it to black to cover it back up. Make a smaller brush. And go over those ugly spaces you didn't want. Make a little rounded edge here on the corner. Okay. You always want to make sure you leave her shadow and the shadow cast so it doesn't look fake. And then I generally go around again at about 50%, half of what I had originally, and just kind of blend the uncovered corner with the covered, the covered corner, so that it looks like it flows together. It doesn't look so fake. You always want to make sure that you leave the shadow. I always leave the shadow as much as I can, and the shadow cast, so it doesn't look like she's floating. And obviously this is a very chopped job. Her tail looks terrible right there. There's not a lot of the hair. There's not a lot of detail on the top of her head. But if you're doing this for a client, take your time. You can take the opacity back up to 100, put the flow at like 15%, and go around her body in the little spots that are, her hair is covered. Make sure you do this on a mask, so that if you mess it up or it looks too fake, you can always go back and fix it. You just go back to black and cover it back up. Okay, so that's all there is to it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope this helped you out. Have a wonderful day.